They are determined, focused, and committed like true past champions, eager to capture the ultimate prize that eluded them in 1994. Last week, the Dallas Cowboys fought off an enormous challenge from Minnesota, only to survive in overtime. For Dallas, it will be an enduring journey in an attempt to relive memories of their glorious past. In Arizona, Buddy Ryan has made promises yet to be delivered. Veteran leader Dave Craig has not reached expectations. An always stingy defense has been vulnerable, with injuries proving costly. But with a healthy Garrison Hearst, the Cardinals hope to make some noise in Texas today. Texas Stadium sold out, the home of the Dallas Cowboys, as the Arizona Cardinals come to town. The Cowboys heavy favorites. Good afternoon, I'm Pat Summerall with John Madden. You know, when Buddy Ryan came to the Arizona Cardinals, he promised a lot of things that haven't seemed to materialize. What do you think, in your opinion, went wrong with Buddy's philosophy?
Well, I don't think he had enough players early, and then I think he went to change them, and he started with one group last year, and he's starting with a totally new group this year, and he doesn't seem to have as much confidence this year. You know, over the years, Buddy's had success against the Dallas Cowboys because his head coaching record is 8-4, but I don't think he feels as good about it, and he knows that he has problems here, because what he likes to do is take someone or something away and then gang up on the other thing. Now, ideally, he would like to take Emmitt Smith out of the game. He would like to gang up on the run, stop Emmitt Smith, and then be able to blitz, go after Troy Aikman, shut out Michael Irvin. But the Cowboys are too smart for that. I mean, they aren't going to play into that. I think on first down, you're going to see some passing. I think Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator, is smart enough that he's not going to play into Buddy's hands. In other words, if he's supposed to pass, he may run. If he's supposed to run, he may throw the ball.
John, this is our first look at the Dallas Cowboys, Fox's first look. They seem, after losing the championship game last year to San Francisco and losing in the regular season to the 49ers, they seem to have come back this year rededicated. How have they accomplished that, or have they?
I think they have. I mean, you know, we got that feeling when we saw them in preseason and in training camp. This just looks like a different group of guys. I think last year they were, you know, they had the new coach thing. They had the thing that they were the defending champions. Everyone was going after them. Every game was a championship game. And I think that they, you know, it kind of took it for granted that, you know, we've been there the last couple of years. We're going to be here every year. And then that 49er game, that championship game against the 49ers, that took a lot out of them. Then I think they really did rededicate themselves. I mean, you look at Troy Aikman. He lost weight. He looks like a different guy. Emmitt Smith, every time he runs the ball, he looks like he's the most determined guy that I've ever seen. I mean, he looks like he's trying to run through and around everything. And Michael Irvin's working harder than he's ever worked. He's in great shape. Charles Haley is probably right now the best defensive lineman in football. And this is a team on a mission.
And the question certainly remains, are the Cowboys faced by the Cardinals today, are they better than the 49ers, or are the 49ers better? Time will tell. The Cardinals and the Cowboys from Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. Greg Davis will kick off as the Cowboys won the toss. Davis is number 5 back deep for the Cowboys. Kevin Williams, number 85, and Clayton Holmes. Brock Marion, I beg your pardon, 31 back with him. Davis, no touchback, so we might see and should see a return as you'll look. In the afternoon sun of Texas, you can see what that big, enormous hole in the roof does to the light and the lighting situation here on the field. Davis, Kevin Williams at the 2. Cardinals down, swarming. Special teams nail him at about the 15. Simon Shanks made the tackle. Let's have a look at the Dallas offense, led by the quarterback Troy Aikman. As John Madden mentioned, much lighter this year than in previous years. In front of him, the biggest, they're not lighter, the biggest offensive line, I think, in pro football. Tuanay, Newton, Donaldson, Allen, and Ron Stone starting in place of Eric Williams today at right tackle. Emmitt Smith, Darrell Johnston, the 2 backs. Kevin Williams, Michael Irvin, and Jay Novacek, the fine tight end. He's lined up left. Irvin in motion. Aikman gives to Emmitt Smith on first down. Got a couple to the left. And the Arizona defense missing two of its key players, Eric Swan and Eric Hill. It'll be Simmons, Wilson, Bankston, and Chad Brown up front. Irving, Garth Jacks, the middle linebacker, and Seth Joyner. Patrick Hunter, Brent Alexander, Lynch, and Williams in the secondary. 2nd and 7. Emmitt Smith got 3 yards on his first carry. Cowboys at about their own 18. Opening moments. Novacek on the move. Aikman. Smith, nothing doing. Garth Jacks wrapped him up.
Well, that's Buddy Ryan's idea, is that you take away the run. You know, if you can take away the run, and I don't know that you can ever do that against the Dallas Cowboys and Emmitt Smith, but if you can take away the run, then you can get him in these situations, these 3rd and long. Then you can make your substitutions. You can get your nickel defense in there, get your pass rushers in there, mix up your blitzes, and just make the team one-dimensional.
And that one dimension would figure to be pass right here. 3 wide receivers for the Cowboys. That'll be Corey Fleming, the other one. Aikman. Kevin Williams, enough for a first. Out of bounds at about the 26.
That's one of the things the Cowboys were talking about, is going to Kevin Williams more. In 3 games, he's only caught 2 passes. And they know that everyone's thinking about Michael Irvin. You see that they kind of start on a double of Michael Irvin, and they let Kevin Williams come underneath and get that first down.
Cowboys get a little breathing room. The line of scrimmage, their own 27. Opening moments at Texas Stadium. 1st and 10.
This is what the Cardinals are worrying about. They say that if they can stop their first drive, they'll be in pretty good shape. Cowboys always scoring that first drive.
Aikman on first down to throw it. Good throw. Michael Irvin stays on his feet, gets into Cardinal territory to their 45. Garth Jacks finally brought him down. Good effort by Irvin.
That's one thing about Michael Irvin. He is so big and so strong that he is going to get open. And then after he gets open, he's going to catch the ball, and then he's going to be tough to tackle. You see right there, Brent Alexander, number 46. He runs right by Alexander, and then he's so strong in the shoulders up there that he just kind of shrugs him off, boom, and Alexander goes flying off him, and he picks up another 10 yards.
1st and 10 at the Cardinal 46. Somebody jumped, flags on the play. That was a real touch pass by Aikman to Irvin. Johnny Greer, the referee, called against the Cowboys, Nate Newton.
Well, Big Nate there got a little anxious on that to get out there and start getting some blocking done. Hey, he is a heck of a guard. You know, I mean, everyone talks about Nate, you know, and how big he is, and he is all that, and how glib he is, and he is that. But also, he has a lot of speed and a lot of quickness and a lot of strength, and he's a heck of a football player.
And arms that look like legs. Reverse coming. Kevin Williams, flag on the play. He got back just about a yard past the line of scrimmage, stopped by Seth Joyner. This is going to be against the Cowboys, probably holding.
Yeah, that's one of the problems with running reverses, is that happens so many times. You always see so many, or you seem to see so many penalties on reverses, because you're trying to get them going one way and then bring them back the other way. And you seem to get a lot of holding and a lot of clipping penalties on reverses.
Holding, 48, offense.
Holding against Darrell Johnston. Still first down.
Even when the Moose gets a penalty down here, they give him that Moose call. Hear that?
Yeah.
Holding number 48, and everyone goes, Moose!
11:50 left in the first quarter, no score. Welcome to those of you who watched Washington and Tampa Bay. Welcome to Texas Stadium. Arizona and Dallas. Outside to Darrell Johnston.
Well, Troy Aikman was going to let the Moose get a little of that back. He had a 10-yard holding penalty, so he put him out there in the flat and said, well, Moose, go get that 10 yards back you just gave him. Moose got about half of it.
About 5.
You know, he's a guy that is appreciated now. I mean, he's making Pro Bowl and stuff, but this guy, Daryl Johnston, is just a football player. I mean, he does all those other things like, you know, block and catch and, you know, he'll get downfield, and I mean, he just plays the game all out every play.
In preseason, he was the backup center, long snapper. Aikman hit, gets the ball out to Emmitt Smith. Right now for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
At Washington trailing by 8, 1st and goal from the 1 with 2 seconds left. Gus Frerotte, only mistake of the day. He throws a pick to Martin Mayhew, ex-Redskin. Tampa wins its 3rd straight over Washington. Back to Pat and John.
Back here at Texas Stadium, no scores yet. The Cowboys' initial drive after they took the opening kickoff. Bright, sunny, perfect day. Barry Switzer, second year as the head coach of the Cowboys. Aikman back to throw it. Going deep. Caught by Michael Irvin at about the 2. Perfect strike and an outstanding catch.
You know, I know that they had to be expecting a blitz here because they were just going to go to the up to Michael Irvin. They put him out there, and they didn't blitz. Here's Michael Irvin out here. He's against Aeneas Williams. He's just going to run it up. You see Aeneas Williams starts to run backward. Michael Irvin just runs right by him. Troy Aikman hits him perfectly right in stride. They were expecting a blitz. They didn't get the blitz, but when you have a guy like Troy Aikman throwing to Michael Irvin, it doesn't make any difference what the defense is.
What a great throw. Emmitt Smith. Nothing doing. Maybe a loss. Both he and the Moose went backwards.
You know, Troy Aikman was saying the other day, I think it's so true, that he bets that he leads the leagues in passes that get down to the 1-yard line.
Not touchdown.
Yeah, they don't get the touchdown. That's the way, if you look at Dallas scoring or anyone in these fantasy leagues, it's always Emmitt Smith gets the touchdown, but Troy Aikman throws a lot of long passes.
That was a perfect strike to Michael Irvin. If you had Emmitt Smith, what would you do? You'd throw it.
Make it to him.
The Novacek touchdown.
That's not a bad thing. You jam him in there, and then you fake it to him on 2nd down, because they all believe that when you get down in the goal line, they're going to give it to Emmitt Smith. Fake it to Emmitt Smith. Throw it out there to Jay Novacek.
One of the things the Cardinals said to us yesterday is we just can't afford to get behind. There's a flag on this last play.
The other thing he said is they always seem to score on that first drive, and they did.
Well, maybe not.
There is no infraction on the play. 65 lined up in the correct position. The touchdown is good.
After the conference, for those of you watching Chicago and St. Louis, here's the score, 6-0 at Texas Stadium. The Cowboys just scored. Aikman to Novacek, and they'll be lining up for the extra point right now. Novacek holding for Bonio.
How was that for Troy Aikman on that drive, Pat? He was 6 out of 6 for 97 yards. That's
pretty
bad
good
passing on a drive. You figure how long the football field is.
That means there were a couple of penalties in there.
Went backwards a few times.
That they overcame. Bonio's extra point is good. He'll do the kicking off. 7-0. With 8:42 left to play in the first quarter, the Cowboys lead Arizona. Here's that long pass to set the whole thing up.
Well, Michael Irvin is up on top. Aeneas Williams is covering him. He didn't get any bump on him or anything. Michael Irvin just ran right by Aeneas Williams. But I'll tell you what, the pass protection was great, and that was a perfect pass by Troy Aikman.
Can't throw it any better. Here's the touchdown.
Well, they're all jammed in there. You see they're going to stop Emmitt. See that whole thing? Boom, they all go to Emmitt. They fake it to Emmitt Smith, and they leave Jay Novacek open in the end zone. That's tough. Like I said earlier, Buddy Ryan's defense has always been take something away. They got on the goal line, they took Emmitt away, and they gave number 84 to him.
Jay Novacek, who just scored the touchdown from Aikman. 9 plays, 85 yards. They kept the ball 6 minutes, 18 seconds. 2-yard touchdown pass from Aikman to Novacek. And again, there were a couple of penalties in there. That's why Aikman gained more yards than there were on the drive.
You know, and they mix it up so well. You know, I mean, Emmitt Smith running wasn't a big part of it, but it was a little part of it. Gerald Johnston catches a pass. There's Ernie Zampese right there, the offensive coordinator. He throws some big ones to Michael Irvin. He throws a first down to Kevin Williams, the touchdown to Jay Novacek, and that's just one drive.
Bonio will kick off for the Cowboys. First time he's kicked off this year. He had been bothered by leg problems. He's been kicking field goals and extra points, but not kicking off. Lines it down to Ryan Terry. Terry cut down at about the 15. Let's have a look now at the Arizona offense led by the veteran Dave Craig from Milton College, which no longer exists. Dye, Love, Cunningham, Redmond, and Larry Tharp. Garrison Hurst and Terry Samuels, the two runners. Rob Moore, Frank Sanders, the wide receivers. Wendell Gaines, the tight end. Larry Centers is going to start. This is Garrison Hurst deep. Centers now in motion. Going deep. Incomplete. Larry Brown on defense. Rob Moore, the intended receiver. Let's look at the Cowboys defense. The front four as good as they get. Haley, Lett, Maryland, and Tolbert. The three linebackers, Godfrey Miles and Dixon Edwards on the outside, Robert Jones in the middle. And the secondary, Brown, Brock Marion, Darren Woodson, and Clayton Holmes.
I think that long pass to Rob Moore, I think it was a pretty good pass by Dave Craig. I think that hit Rob Moore right in the head.
I think it did.
He was coming out of the shadow into the sun.
Centers. Nothing.
Let's watch that. Here's Rob Moore. They were going to go for the big play on Larry Brown right off the bat, and the ball is right there, and it just goes right off him. It was kind of off his shoulder pad. That was a pretty good throw. That should have been caught.
Excellent throw.
That's one thing the Cardinals are talking about, that, you know, that they got Rob Moore from the Jets, and he was going to be their big receiver, but they haven't gone to him enough in 3 games, and they want to get the ball to him more.
3rd and 9.
Better block Charles Haley.
Got 2 men on him. Outside center. Broke through a couple of Cowboys and got close to a first down. Bill Bates was one of those that put the hit on him.
The smart thing was they doubled Charles Haley. The dumb thing was they threw it short of the first down.
I'd like to welcome those of you who watched Minnesota and Pittsburgh to Texas Stadium, where the Dallas Cowboys lead Arizona 7-0. Johnny Greer,
Holding.
the referee.
71. Offense. It's declined. 4th down.
Holding call. The Cowboys took the opening kickoff and drove for the initial touchdown. They lead 7-0. Outstanding drive for Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin. Jay Novacek scored the touchdown from 2 yards out from Aikman.
Yeah, the other group it was an outstanding drive for was the offensive line.
Right.
I mean, that Cowboy offensive line really blocked.
Jet Fiegels. Evan Williams signals fair catch and makes it. The Cowboys will take over to 27. The Cowboys leading 7-0 over the Arizona Cardinals. It's 7:18 left in the first.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles. By Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. By American Express. And by Coors Light, shipped cold to bring you all that is great about the Rockies. Tap the Rockies with Coors Light.
Dallas, Texas. The Texas Stadium located in Irving, between Dallas and Fort Worth. 1st and 10 from their own 27 for Dallas. Troy Aikman, the quarterback. Emmett Smith, Darrell Johnston, the two runners behind him. Johnny Greer.
False start, prior to the snap, number 88, offense. Still first down.
As Buddy Ryan and the Cardinals were talking about yesterday, one of the things we can't let happen is let them get that first drive in the end zone, score early in the first quarter, and that's what they've done this year and last year.
You can see last year they scored 100 points to 34 of their opponents. So far this season, it's 27-3.
First and 15. Aikman to throw. Throws it away. Novacek in the area, but that was too high for him.
You know, and a lot of that has to do with the offensive coordinator, Ernie Zampese, and having a quarterback like Troy Aikman. But, you know, really give good mixture. I mean, in that first drive, 5 different guys caught the ball. Ernie never gets into a rut of just doing one thing. For example, they haven't been able to run the ball yet. Emmitt Smith has only carried the ball 3 times for 3 yards, but they're going to get to that. So what they're trying to do now is loosen up this Cardinal defense.
Ernie's not going to run out of pencils either. Emmitt Smith out of bounds. Got about 3 or 4. Lorenzo Lynch.
Yeah, the Cardinals came in here with 1 goal. And, you know, again, that's a Buddy Ryan defense, and that's their whole idea. They're going to take away one thing. It's this guy here, number 22. In other words, if they're going to let Troy Aikman beat him or Michael Irvin or Jay Novacek, but right now, initially in this game, they are going to stop Emmitt Smith.
Well, that's an all-day job.
Well, that's what Buddy's always believed. You take away the run, make them pass, make them one-dimensional, then go after them. 3rd
and 13, 3 wide receivers for the Cowboys. Here comes the blitz. Aikman. Out of the hands of Corey Fleming. Ball should have been caught.
See, that's what he wants to do. You know, get that long yardage and then be able to blitz or not blitz, but, you know, really put the heat on the quarterback, and that was a perfect Cardinal secondary.
And you got to catch this.
I mean, that's the thing that happens when you do go on that blitz. You do cover one-on-one, and your cover guy has to be able to do it. And then if you get the ball away, you got to catch it.
John Jett back to punt for Dallas. Anthony Edwards deep for the Arizona Cardinals.
Surprise!
Jett slices it a bit. Takes a bad bounce if you're a Dallas fan. Good for Arizona. Out of bounds at about the 45. 6:32 left to play in the first quarter at Texas Stadium, and Dallas leads Arizona 7-0. Pat Summerall with John Madden at Texas Stadium. Dallas 7, Arizona nothing. The Cardinals have the ball at their own 45. Garrison Hurst and Terry Samuels in the backfield now. They started Larry Center. Craig is the quarterback. 16-year veteran. Hurst.
You know, we were talking to Garrison Hurst last night. He said, you know, I don't think we're going to have much success running inside. I think we're going to have to run off tackle and outside. He just proved it then.
He came out of there faster than he went in.
Yeah, when you have, you know, Russell Maryland in there playing the run and Big Cat Leon Lett and Robert Jones in there, you aren't going anywhere. And they didn't get any movement at all on that inside trio.
Back the other way. 2nd and 12. Well, Garrison Hurst takes it outside. A little more success, but not a lot.
That's what he learned. I think that's what he learned. You know that old experiment somewhere in psychology, remember, where you would go and a rat would go in, and if he'd go left, you'd hit him over the head, and if he'd go right, he'd get the cheese. After a couple times, he'd go in and go right all the time. I think Garrison Hurst, where you go in the middle, that doesn't work, you go outside.
We didn't have rats in my school.
No, but I mean, that's like Pavlov or someone. I mean, that's one of those things that, you know, even a rat, if you hit him in the head, won't go that way, he'll go where the cheese is.
Pavlov played with the Packers, I think.
The nose tackle.
Outside the center. Larry centers near a Cardinal first down. Greg Trimble made the stop.
And I think if you would ask any player that plays against the Cardinals, who's their best offensive player, they would say Larry Centers.
Yet he doesn't start.
Yeah, but I mean, he's in there a lot. I think that, you know, because he's not a real big guy, and you know, they like to pick the spots with him. But this guy is a tough guy. I mean, Charles Haley says he's one of the best blocking backs in football. He's one of the best receiving guys. You know, and he's just one of those guys that anything you need, he can do. Except you didn't get the first down there, and they got a punt.
But he's a good, tough runner to go along with that. Big old high kick. Evan Williams signals fair catch and makes it at about the 12-yard line. The Cowboys will take over maybe the 13. 7-0. Dallas over Arizona. 4:18 left to play in the first quarter. On that punt by the Cardinals, there was a late flag thrown, and the discussion went on during the timeout. And it looks like the Cardinals have gotten a first down as a result of that.
Right. It's against the Cowboys.
We had 12 men on the field
12 men on the
during
field.
the last kick on the defense. That's first down, Arizona.
That does not make for a happy special teams coach.
Then a less happy head coach, because the head coach can get mad at the special teams coach and the guy that was the 12th guy out. You see right there is the 12th guy, and it wasn't that there was 12 men on there. There were 12 on the field, one trying to get off, and he wasn't hustling. You know, I mean, he should have been off. Remember, it was a 4th and short.
Yeah.
I think they weren't sure that the Cardinals were going to go for it or punt it.
Alert play by the Cardinals to go ahead and snap the ball so quickly. Garrison Hurst outside left for a couple. Stopped by Robert Jones.
Yeah, well, that's what Garrison Hurst again was talking about. There's not going to be much in there where the rat goes, where he gets hit over the head. But you just go out. You know, you can go right or left, but you go off tackle or around the end. But I don't, you know, everyone looks at Charles Haley, you know, and he's not a real big guy, and they think we can run at Charles Haley. In all my years of watching Charles Haley, I have never seen anyone ever make a living running at Charles Haley.
Craig back to throw it. Pass complete. I believe, no, hit the ground. Not complete. Frank Sanders thinks he had it.
You know, on offense, they're going to take away Emmitt Smith, and on defense, they're going to take away Charles Haley. And you could just see that Emmitt Smith isn't going to beat him with the run, and Charles Haley isn't going to beat him with the pass, because they have, every time they go back to pass, they have two guys blocking Charles Haley.
If you're going to do those two things, you've taken a couple of giant steps toward beating the Cowboys.
Yeah, and then, you know, but then Leon Lett has to come in, you know, and Tolbert has to come in if they're going to do that.
3rd and 8. Craig. It's a catch. It's a catch by Frank Sanders, coming back toward the ball.
That was a heck of a throw by Dave Craig, too. Watch Craig here. He's in a shotgun. He's going to get the pressure. First of all, it's Haley. He's the first guy to break through. That flushes him out to the right, and he makes that throw on the run and gets it out there to Frank Sanders. I don't know if Sanders had both feet in, though.
Well, he's
watch
pushed.
Charles Haley. He's going to take that inside. See him take that inside? That's the thing that flushes him out. He gets to the outside, makes a pretty good throw.
4th and about a yard. Cardinals going. Yeah, the man in motion. Oscar McBride, but the line, the offensive line jumped.
Start, 65, offense.
Ernest Dye jumped too soon.
Yeah, that'll kill you. That's what discipline is. I mean, here's Ernest Dye right here. Now he knows that the ball is probably going to be run to his side, and the snap counts on 2. Ernest Dye goes on 1. When I coached, I used to always talk, to me that was discipline. It wasn't whether you wore a shirt and a tie or whether you said hello and thank you. It was if you stayed on side.
Bruce Davis from about 54 yards out. No good. Bounced off the goalpost. Plenty of distance, but just bounced out. Hit the goalpost way up high from 54 yards. 6 Central.
There's
Above and beyond.
Right there.
Texas Stadium.
Lo and behold.
1st and 10, Dallas at their own 44. Here's Aikman. To Darrell Johnston. About 3. Stopped by Garth Jackson.
He was trying to go deep on that one, but I'll tell you one thing. He's had excellent pass protection. I mean, he had time to look deep, to look. Nothing there, and then he had to come off to Darrell Johnston. But watch his pass protection. This is a way that you should do it. Just watch this left side of the line here. Mark 2 and 8, Nate Newton, Donaldson. See, they just get their guys and they push, and they form a pocket inside there that Troy Aikman can look and step up and throw to anyone he wants.
Aikman. To Kendall Watkins. Now this is a big tight end. A rookie. Came to camp weighing over 300 pounds. Now he's trimmed down a little bit.
They drafted him as a blocker. He was going to be the blocking tight end because Jay Novacek, really isn't much of a blocker as a tight end. They also have Eric Bjornsson.
Right.
So the only real blocking tight end they have is Kendall Watkins, and then they sneak him in there and throw him a pass. That's why no one covers him. Someone says, hey, this guy's not going to go out for a pass. All he does is block.
Got a 1st down. Aikman's going to throw again. Outside to Michael Irvin. A couple of good moves by Irvin, and he got another 1st.
What was that second group of moves you think that Michael Irvin did there?
I don't know. The first one was effective.
I know it. The first one, but that second one was that was what they used to call like shake and bake or huck and buck. Watch this. He gets by the first guy, and then he does his shake and bake right here. See? That's about 6 shakes and bakes.
It's a late night move.
Trying to stay in square.
1st and 10. Novacek on the move. Handoff to Emmett Smith. You can stop him for a while. Emmett Smith down to about the 7-yard line before they wrestle him down. Williams.
As you say with Emmett Smith, there's only a certain amount of time. Up till now, he had 4 carries and 5 yards. But you see how deep he gets? There's only one back there, and he's about 7 yards deep. Now he can pick a hole. He starts in there, and he makes everyone pursue to that side. Then once they do, then he just cuts against the grain away from the area that they pursue.
Watch him finish this run off.
I mean, he is a fast, quick, and very powerful guy.
1st and goal from the 6. Emmett Smith into the end zone. That looked like the old drill.
The old middle run drill.
Yeah.
Where the defense is just playing touch tackle. I tell you, he is something.
He really is.
And it's a big part of Emmett Smith. It's also a big part of that offensive line. And he knows it too. I mean, he can run. You give him a hole, just give him a little crack somewhere, and he's going to get through there, and he's going to hit it quickly, and he'll run against the grain, and he'll do all those things. But he needs that big offensive line out in front of him.
No matter where the opening is, he'll find it.
He had like 5 carries for 4 yards. So you think, oh boy, Emmett's under control. Then he goes 2 carries for 34 yards and a touchdown. He doesn't even look like he's working hard, does he?
For the extra point, Novacek holding. Bonio's kick. 14-0, the Cowboys over Arizona. Emmett Smith touchdown.
But here's Emmett back here. He's going to get a lead right here from Daryl Johnston. Yeah, and that's where Johnston is such a good player. I mean, boom, he just makes that block there, and then that middle of the guy. I mean, Newton, Donaldson, Larry Allen. Watch these three guys here in the middle. Watch how they handle their guys. They get everything going backwards. Johnston get his block. They just run the guys right beyond the hole. That looked too easy. You know, and every time he scores, it always looks like the first guy there's number 88 to help him celebrate, doesn't it? That means he probably wasn't blocking.
And Michael Irvin was watching.
Yeah, I mean,
getting there.
No, I mean, guys like Nate Newton there down there, Ray Donaldson, Larry Allen, Mark 2 and 8, they're all blocking. And Michael Irvin's just out there watching and say, hey, good going, and he goes over and grabs him.
Terry and Edwards, all-time rushers, consecutive games with a touchdown. Emmett Smith moves closer to the co-leaders, Riggins and Rogers of the Redskins. He's something.
He doesn't even look like he's getting too excited about this game.
That might be the Cardinals' best player, Aeneas Williams.
Yeah, you know, they've already lost two of their top guys. You talked about that, Eric Swan, Eric Hill, their middle linebacker. And now their best defensive player out there is Aeneas Williams. And as you say, they're checking him out.
Monio to kick it off. High kick handled by Ryan Terry at about the 5. Got some room. They shut it down pretty quickly. Greg Trimble down to make the stop on Terry.
It's something how you give this Cowboy team any kind of opening. I mean, the Cardinals had a couple breaks. They had pretty good field position. They got another first down, but then they had a penalty, missed a field goal, opened the thing up, and then here come the Cowboys, led by these guys right there. I mean, look at the size of Nate Newton's arms. I mean, his arms, look at the size of that arm. I mean, that's as big, I swear, as most legs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big old ham hock. I'll tell you, he puts that thing on you, a couple of those on you, you're going to go backward.
First down, Arizona. The handoff is to Garrison Hurst. Tries straight ahead, and that's the same answer he got the first time he tried there. Shante Carver.
Yeah, you'll see number 35 is Aeneas Williams, and it looks like here is where he got his knee hurt, right there where he just twisted. You see him just grab it? I think that's one of those artificial turf things.
Your attention, please.
Traction too good. That is the end of quarter number 1 at Texas Stadium with the Dallas Cowboys looking very impressive. They lead Arizona 14-0. Back at Texas Stadium, Dallas 14, Arizona nothing. Ready to begin the second quarter. Aeneas Williams shaken up.
I think that was one of those knees where the foot gets caught in the carpet. And I think it was in that paint area down in the end zone. His foot got caught. The only thing that would give is the joint. And the knee joint did give.
That's Garrison Hurst, and there's nothing doing. Flag on the play. Shante Carver out to make the stop.
Yeah, this defensive line of the Cowboys is just controlling the line of scrimmage. And you get Russell Merrill, Leon Lett there, Haley, Tony Tolbert, and they're just not getting any movement. This Cardinal offensive line isn't getting any movement on them. I think Leon Lett made a heck of a play 2 plays ago.
Yeah. Aeneas Williams' left knee is the problem. You probably saw that. They're taking him in, taken him in for x-rays.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 98, defense. First down.
Godfrey Miles calls for that violation.
Following the 5-yard penalty against
Darren Smith, one of the outstanding young linebackers the Cowboys had, still hasn't reported yet.
Yeah, that's a hard one for me to understand. I mean, you know, Darren Smith is a starter. He has good speed. And they're talking about, you know, kind of short money when you think of what they gave some of these other players.
Reverse and a pass coming. Sanders makes the catch. Reverse pass works. Wide receiver to wide receiver. Moore to Sanders.
Hey, that's one thing the Cardinals know that they have to do, that they just can't play normal offensive football and beat this Cowboy team. So they give the reverse. They started off to Rob Moore, and then he runs like he's going to run a reverse play. Then the reverse play becomes a reverse pass, and he throws it to number 81, Frank Sanders. He makes a pretty good catch there. Starts to bobble it and then grabs it.
1st and 10, Arizona at the Cowboy 38. Larry Center bounced out, got a hole, and Larry Center still on his feet inside the 20 to about the 18. Finally stopped by Dixon Edwards.
Now they had that inside plugged up. Watch these guys just plug up right here. Centers comes in, pops here, and then says, whoa, there's nothing there. And then he goes around to the outside. But watch the Cowboys. They just stuffed that run. See Leon Lett? He just takes Duval Love and throws him right into center. Centers bounces out. Clayton Holmes there misses a tackle, and that lets Centers get about 6 more yards. Good initial play, poor play after that by the Cowboys defense.
1st and 10, Arizona. Cowboy 18, blitz coming. Craig just barely handed the ball off. Russell Maryland on the stop. Garrison Hurst carried it.
You wonder how Dave Craig got rid of that ball. Dixon Edwards hit that gap. That's what you try and do. You try and time the gap and hit the gap just as the ball is snapped. Now watch Edwards. He's going to hit the gap just as the ball snapped, but he gets the handoff. Dave Craig gets a handoff. Watch 58. You see, you try and time it. He hit it perfectly, and the ball carrier ran right by him.
That was close.
That could have caused a fumble. That will usually cause a fumble.
2nd down. They need 8. To Sanders. His helmet bounces down toward the end zone, but he keeps the ball.
They're hitting down there. That's going to happen anytime you run a crossing route. Guy Frank Sanders is a pretty tough receiver. A rookie out of Auburn. He's going to come on a cross. He's going to come across right to left here. See, Craig is watching. In fact, he sees him all the way. He comes underneath. In fact, underneath means he comes underneath the linebacker. The linebackers drop, and Sanders comes across in front of him.
3rd and 2. Hurst. Nothing doing. Robert Jones.
Robert Jones is just too fast there.
Yep.
That's one thing about these Cowboy linebackers. They can run. That is thinking we try and get outside. We just can't get away from those middle guys. But watch Robert Jones here. When he sees that ball, he's back off. The motion brings him to the right side. He comes off that block and then just comes right down the line of scrimmage.
Heck of a play.
By a middle linebacker, that is, because he had a good read, good block.
Davis. Field goal is good from 31 yards, and the Cardinals get on the scoreboard. Cowboys lead it 14-3 with 11:12 left in the 2nd quarter.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Lay's and Wavy Lay's potato chips. Bet you can't eat just one. By Aflac, insuring over 38 million people worldwide. And by McDonald's, the official restaurant of the National Football League.
Little cattle drive in the area at Texas Stadium. Dallas leading 14-3. Cardinals just got the field goal from Greg Davis. This is going to be Kevin Williams on the kickoff return. Up to the 31, perhaps.
We saw Charles Haley. Remember, just before we went to commercial, we saw Haley complaining to the official. We went back and what's he complaining about? Here's the play right here. Here's Charles Haley. Now watch, Larry Tharp is number 71. He comes, blocks him from behind, and grabs him. So Charles is helping the referee right there.
There's reason to complain.
And he's still talking about, hey, you know what happened to me on that reverse? The guy went around, blocked me from behind, and grabbed me right in front of the official, and he didn't call anything.
Darrell Johnston in motion. Aikman on first down, through, incomplete. Kevin Williams had it, lost it, almost got it again, and lost it again.
That'll make Aikman now 9 out of 12. And you look at the distance he threw, 5 for 5 in that short step, 0 to 5, 2 for 3 from 6 to 10, 1 for 1, 11 to 15, and then 1 out of 2 deep. So, you know, and short, I mean, in this area, you expect a high percentage. But the other thing it shows that he's not just he's not just throwing it in one area. He's throwing it up and down the field.
Emmitt Smith. Emmitt's off. Tripped up as he got into Cardinal territory at their 45. Emmitt Smith just tripped up by the last man. Lassiter tripped him up.
Again, the story is he's going to run in the middle. Just watch this blocking here. Here's Emmitt Smith. He gets the deep thing. Now, he doesn't always cut back. I mean, he's going to look, and he's going to hit that hole, and if it's there, he's going to split it right now. He sees it. He gets a good trap block. He just runs straight ahead. Brent Alexander, again, the free safety. He was up there like the 8th man up, and he just missed the tackle.
Yep. Aikman back to throw. Dumps it to Emmitt Smith. Smith still on his feet, still going inside the 10, down at about the 1-foot line.
That ever wants to be a football player and is watching this, you learn one thing from Emmitt Smith here. When you get the ball, you turn and you run it straight up the field. You see, I mean, there was no going to the outside, looking for the sideline, anything. Straight up the field, and you keep those knees moving. I mean, that is great running by Emmitt Smith. That is very, very poor tackling by the Cardinals.
And with all that, watch him protect the ball when he feels contact coming.
Just watch his eyes here, Pat. He sees everything. He sees the whole field.
He just scored the touchdown. His second of the day.
I think I saw big Derek Kennard was in there, number 60. They just signed him this week, and I think Emmitt on that touchdown went right over big Kennard.
Well, let's have a look at it.
He's going to run right in here on this side. Now watch the right side of the line block. Again, they block down. Here he goes, just runs right there. Heck, there's no one there. All the Cardinals were down on the ground.
O'Neill's extra point good. 21-3. Watch this. Protect the ball and head for the goal line. (21-3). The Cowboys lead the Cardinals. Second quarter. Emmitt Smith just scored his second touchdown of the day. O'Neill to kick it off. Ryan Terry to return it. Just outside the 30.
Yeah, so much for stopping Emmitt Smith. Let's just watch some of these blocking things we talk about. Here, Larry Allen is going to make a trap block, but watch Nate Newton here and how strong he is. I mean, he's going to hit his guy. Watch him there. He just hits him, and he just pushes him straight out of the way. I mean, look at how these holes become so big. Nate just takes his guy, and he pushes him 5 yards to the side. Tuanay says, holy moly, this is going to be a big hole here. Number 71 says, I better get out of the way. That's a good move by Mark Tuanay to get out of Emmitt Smith's way.
Good block by Donaldson also.
But did you see what Nate did to Bernard Wilson?
Yes.
He knocked him 5 yards sideways.
Craig back to throw it. Going deep. Pass is caught by Rob Moore at the Cowboy 25. Covered by Clayton Holmes. Or Clayton Holmes was there. 55-yard gain.
That's the thing that Dave Craig was talking about. The two big things was, one, that you have to get some big plays, and two, that he has to get the ball to Rob Moore. That wasn't bad coverage there by Clayton Holmes, but that was a perfect throw by Dave Craig.
Those two Cardinal wide receivers are both big, both Sanders and Moore.
I'll tell you about that. You know, that Dave Craig. I mean, he's 16 years in the league, and he can get hot.
There's a reason he's been around 16 years. Wendell Gaines makes the catch right now for a McDonald's game break. Let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
All right, Pat, the Eagles have scored 10 points off of turnovers, including this one. Ismail, rocket that is on the reverse, fumbled after being hit by Andy Harmon. Greg Jackson takes it midair, heads to pay dirt. The Eagles are up 17-3 on the Raiders in Oakland. Let's take it back to Pat and John.
Things more according to form at Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys lead 21-3, but the Cardinals on the move. 2nd and 1. Hurst deep. Garrison Hurst gets the Cardinal first down.
And they just can't get any movement on that inside group of Maryland and Letton Jones to let Hurst have any soft spots in there. You know, it used to be when everyone was using a 3-man line, you had to get a movement on the nose tackle. Then when they go to 4-man line, you got to get movement on these two guys here. You have to get them coming backwards, because if they win the battle on the line of scrimmage or penetration, you're not going to have anywhere to run.
First down, Arizona at the Dallas 14. Craig to throw it. If he has time, does. Centers. Touchdown. See him drag his feet, keep him in the end zone.
You see Dave Craig? I mean, he watched Centers all the way, but he had to get away from a rush. He's saying this is why people say that Larry Centers is the best offensive player on this team. He knew exactly where he was. He just kept the rest of his body moving, his eyes watching, his hands working, and his feet still.
That's hard to do if there's no ball coming.
But Craig made a heck of a throw.
He really did. Extra point by Davis is good. It's 21-10. All right, Black, trivia question this week. Which current NFL quarterback has the most media guide pages in the club media guide dedicated to him? Which quarterback has the most pages dedicated to him? 21-10 the score. Miss Weird World on the Fox Tuesday night movie. Parental discretion advised. Kevin Williams returning the kick.
Just watch that last play that Craig did. Here comes Robert Jones. He's going to be free. Dave Craig beats him here, gets him off, and makes that touchdown throw to Larry Centers. Watch, Jones comes up the middle. They don't block him. In fact, in the old days, he used to say they left one for the quarterback. They left it for Craig. He just kind of ditched him and then threw this pass to Larry Centers. That's a couple of great plays on one play. That guy there and the guy that threw it to him.
I'll say 1st and 10 at their own 30 for Dallas. Here's Aikman. Kevin Williams. Out of bounds at the 45. Let's go back again to the Aflac question. Which quarterback current in the NFL has the most media guide pages dedicated to him? Who would you think? Well, the answer is Dave Craig, who has 41 pages in the Cardinal media guide. Dan Marino's second. Troy Aikman has just 7 pages.
Well, the thing is Dave Craig has been in the league for 16 years. Troy Aikman for 7.
Aikman back to throw. In the direction of Novacek, incomplete.
Another thing, when you read all those pages about Dave Craig, he's from a college. Now there are guys playing in the NFL that are from colleges that no longer play football. You know, but Dave Craig is from a college, Milton College, which is in Wisconsin, that's no longer a college.
Doesn't even exist.
Yeah, he said they dropped out like in '82 or something like that. He said the baseball team was out playing baseball. They didn't even have any money to bring their baseball team
Had to take up collection to get him back. Sherman Williams, the ball carrier. Backing up Emmitt Smith. Good run. Cowboys top pick. And the draft.
Yeah, he's just in there to give Emmitt Smith a little break. Emmitt Smith already has over 100 yards and touchdowns and everything, and looks like he got that cap on. He doesn't look like he's going to play anymore this half. Although, knowing Emmitt Smith, if the Cowboys get a little closer to the goal line here, he may exchange that cowboy cap for a football hat.
Yeah, he's not going to sit too long.
I don't think so, but he looks like he is, though.
Yeah, he does. Well, he's done an excellent afternoon work already. Aikman back to throw it. Outside to Eric Bjornsson.
Yeah, a big part of this is the Cowboy offense is really going. I mean, Aikman is hot. The offensive line is blocking like heck. Good play calling. But I'll tell you another thing. This Cardinal defense, their tackling is atrocious.
Well, they've lost perhaps their 3 best players.
Yeah, but if you're a pro, you still got to be able to tackle. I mean, that's the thing. If you can't tackle, you shouldn't be able to play in the National Football League.
2nd and 2. Sherman Williams nudges closer to a first down. Not quite.
You know, that's the thing that you like about it. You know, a team having a big offensive lineman. And you talk about big. Yeah, here comes Emmitt Smith in there now. And you see they just brought, I said earlier that they brought Kennard back. Derek Kennard's in there. And then what they do is they put Stone at an end and Kennard at the tackle.
Emmitt Smith got the first. Cardinals say he didn't. It's very close. There's Derek Kennard.
How much you think Derek Kennard weighs?
More than he says.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that he says anything. They didn't get any first down on that play. They're going to have to go for it again. But Derek Kennard played for these Cowboys, started and played well last year. Was let go in the offseason, didn't get a contract, didn't get out with another team, came back to the Cowboys, practiced for about a half hour and retired, went home and just came back this week.
Emmitt Smith deep. He'll get another crack. Cardinals don't think he got it. Cowboys do think they got it.
Crowd thinks he got it. I think he got it because he got that lean in there and that lunge, and he's so powerful that he can get low and still be powerful. You know, that's one thing that tall running backs have a problem with, is getting low. Here's Emmitt Smith, and he's going to hit right in here and then get down here and then just power it right into there. But tall running backs always have a problem with getting low and still having power. You see right there at the end, right there where he got down, those last couple of steps is where he got the first down.
Just sort of burrowed ahead for the first down. 1st and 10. Aikman a throw. Bjornsson. Incomplete. He had it, juggled it, and lost it.
Troy Aikman really likes Bjornsson.
Yeah.
He's a rookie. In fact, he's out of Washington. He was a quarterback, and he's one of those guys. He's a lot like Jay Novacek, because Jay Novacek's background was he was a quarterback at one time.
That's there.
And that's a perfect pass. I mean, that's right there in the hands. And you know, you don't have to tell a guy like that, hey, you got to catch those. The guy that knows it the most is the guy who just dropped it.
Emmitt Smith rips down to about the 9. Stopped by Brent Alexander.
The way Emmitt Smith is playing this year, Pat, he looks at he's playing at one speed, you know, like he's in 4th gear, and everyone else is still in 1st gear.
He is a big 209.
And he's an amazing football player. I mean, not just running back, but just football player. I mean, just everything that has to be done: blocking, short yardage, catching, running. anything that has to be done. He's just a great football player.
That's the ultimate compliment. 2-minute warning. Dallas 21, Arizona 10. We approach halftime.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Visa, the official card of the NFL.
That's South Fork, where the very famous television series was shot. Dallas.
What did that horse just say?
What?
What did that horse just say?
He just clearing his throat. There's Emmett. Dragged down at the 3 by Lassiter. Emmett grabbed his side, but he gets up in a hurry.
Well, I know the thing that everyone's worrying about are those hamstrings, and Emmett said he worked the whole off season on the hamstring. One thing he does is he drinks a lot more water, because they thought that maybe part of his problem was being dehydrated. But he's very, very conscious of those hamstrings and keeping those hamstrings healthy.
Whatever he's done, it's worked. I've never seen him look better. Aikman. Just tossed that one to a vacant area.
Well, he had Jay Novacek and Daryl Johnston over on his right side, and that's where he was trying to go. The play pass didn't fool the Cardinals. They had that covered. Then he had to come back to his left side, and he just threw it away.
That'll make it 3rd and goal from the 3.
Maybe they were getting too fancy with themselves. I think if they had 2nd down, they'd just give it to Emmett again. If they didn't get it on 2nd down, just give it to him again on 3rd.
Might do that right here.
I mean, they would have gained something on 2nd down with it.
Cardinals showing a blitz. Aikman hits Daryl Johnston.
That's the thing. You always want to hit the blitz. You want to hit the gap at the time the ball snaps. So you try and time it. When you don't time it, this is what happens.
Offside, number 59, defense. Unabated to the quarterback.
Coming up, the Dockers halftime report. James Brown, Terry Bradshaw, Howie Long, and Jimmy Johnson with all the scores and highlights. The Dockers halftime coming up. 3rd and goal from the 2 now as the Cardinals were called to that violation. There's Derek Kennard. Emmett Smith deep. Emmett gets the carry and doesn't get anywhere this time. 21-10, Dallas leading Arizona, and here comes the field goal unit.
And what they do is you know they bring in, we saw where they bring in Derek Kennard. They put him at guard, then they put Larry Allen at the end position. That's the side they ran to. And of course, Larry Allen is an ineligible number playing an eligible position. First, they did all that and ran right at him, and nothing happened.
Bonio for the field goal attempt. Novacek holding. Flags on the play. Flags everywhere on the play. Field goal was good.
Isn't there something? Barry Switzer's here watching this play now, wondering what that penalty is. Last night he was up in St. Louis watching his son play. He was here at practice yesterday, flew in Jerry Jones's jet to St. Louis, watch his son, quarterback.
Illegal substitution, number 73, offense.
That's just what you were talking about.
He reported as an eligible receiver and went back to his legal position on this play. That's a 5-yard penalty.
See, he can't do that. After he becomes an eligible position, then he can't come back to being an ineligible position without going out for one play. So Larry Allen went from end back to guard or tackle. And you have to go out for a play. So that's a problem, and that's not Larry Allen's fault. But when you do that on 3rd down and you don't get it, then he has to come out. He can't be on your field goal team.
That guy, number 73, is playing extremely well right now. And he is going to be one of the great linemen to play this game. Bonio Tries again and hits again. From 25. Back at Texas Stadium, you can see what that hole in the roof causes as far as lighting is concerned. You can see as the afternoon dwindles.
It's tough for a receiver, too.
Yeah.
You know, the ball is coming on this kick, for example, and it's tougher on punts and kickoffs, but it's coming out of the shaded area, and it's going to be kicked right into the sun. That's what the Cardinals expect.
Bonio's kick is a good one. Ryan Terry about a yard deep in the end zone. Cut down at the 22. Jim Schwann's made the tackle. Less than a minute left in the first half. The Cowboys lead. Less than a minute in the first half left. 24-10 Dallas. Emmitt Smith, an outstanding first half. So is Michael Irvin.
Emmitt Smith has had an outstanding everything
Yes.
this season, hasn't it?
Really. Here's Craig back to throw it. Pass complete to Rob Moore. Cardinal first down. He's stopped by Jim Schwann. Don't forget to stay tuned for the Dockers halftime report. A lot of scoring around the NFL today.
Here's the thing that the Cardinals have to deal with in the middle is big cat Leon Lett. I mean, he's just so quick and so big and so strong, and you know every time he's going straight up the field, and he's one of the closest defensive linemen to the quarterback. So if you don't get him stopped on or around the line of scrimmage with that big body, he's going to cause havoc when you want to throw the ball.
He and Haley had a little stunt going, which I'm sure they're discussing right now.
And I think that those two guys, Charles Haley and Leon Lett, run the best stunts. Just watch it right here. I think they run the best stunts of anyone in football. You see, they both start up the field, and then Charles Haley comes under. And they really confuse because they don't go sideways. They're both gaining ground all the time as they go to the quarterback.
Remember when Lawrence Taylor and Leonard Marshall used to do that so well for the Giants?
Yeah, they did it well, and I think that Haley and Lett do it as well, if not better than those guys did.
3 wide receivers for the Cardinals, 1st and 10. Dave Craig, the quarterback, back to throw it. Pocket started to collapse. Pass to Rob Moore, who just scooped it and made the catch. 30 seconds left.
I think the Cardinals are finding out one thing in this first half, that they can throw the ball.
Yep.
And if Dave Craig gets on, he can do some damage to you.
Craig underneath. Oscar McBride. Timeout. Cardinals have 1 left now as Craig heads over to talk to Buddy Ryan.
I think the thing they want to talk about is a play that can get them where they can, Greg Davis can kick or try to kick about a 50-yard field goal. Last week he kicked a 55-yard field goal.
He had a 54-yard try here in this game that was far enough, but hit the upright.
Yeah, so he has leg, and so they're about the 50. So they probably, they're trying to come up with some play that can get about 20 yards for Greg Davis.
Mother taught him how to kick.
One of the things that she did is she tied his shoestring. I mean, she tied his chin strap to his shoulder pads to
So he
keep
would
his
look
head
up.
down.
Yeah.
And then she was something in physics or something. She knew aerodynamics and stuff. So
That's
between tying the chin to the shoulder and then knowing aerodynamics, that equals a kicker.
Yeah.
That's how you guys come to be. It's a combination of tying your head to your chest and aerodynamically proper.
1st and 10. Craig up into the pocket, which collapses. Tony Tolbert. That's their last timeout.
And now he's thinking of going. He thinks he had something out there, but you watch this whole thing, as you said, just collapse on him. And the thing that made it collapse was the pass rush. It started off with Charles Haley being on one side, Tolbert being on the other side, and both of them, the bookends just collapsed right in on Dave Craig.
See
Now
what he had.
Well, here's what he was looking at. He's looking at this left side over here, and I think that he thinks that he had a shot. If you look right here, had he seen that, or he did see that, but Tolbert and Haley didn't let him do anything about that.
Didn't have time. Dave Craig knows what it's like to be sacked, and if you play 16 years, you're going to be sacked.
But it's amazing that you can be sacked that many times and still play 16 years.
And I can't remember any serious injuries to Dave Craig. Very durable, obviously. Craig. That one's picked off. Cowboys come up with the interception.
You see what Charles Haley did to Ernest Dye, though? They tried to double team Haley on that one. At least they were going to keep him out of there. But Haley just took Ernest Dye and just put him right on his back. I mean, that's the thing. You want to rush, and you want to rush with power. Here's Dye, here's Haley, and watch what happens here. They're going to get, it's only a three-man rush. They get him doubled, and watch the power of Charles Haley. I mean, he just takes Ernest Dye and throws him right back at the quarterback.
Pass was intercepted by Alundis Bryce, who just changed numbers when the Cowboys signed Deion Sanders. He had number 21. And now he's number 23.
And that's one thing they're waiting here, and it'll be a while for Deion Sanders. In fact, they say that he's probably going to have his surgery on his ankle next week in Miami. But boy, did this guy play a heck of a first half. You know, when you need a defensive play, and you can say, okay, I need a defensive play, I can have anyone to make it for me. I think right now in football, I'd take this guy right here.
You need somebody to create, and sometimes you need just havoc. You need somebody to create confusion, and he can do that.
Yeah, and he's the guy that's the master of that. He's always going to get penetration, and I think he's the guy that helped Leon left.
No question about that.
And I don't know that Charles Haley, you know, he wants to beat the 49ers so bad. I don't know that he's as excited as most of them are about getting Deion Sanders back. Because he said, we're going to beat the 49ers. If we have Deion, we'll beat them. If they have Deion, we don't need Deion to get back at those guys.
That day, of course, when the 49ers come here to play Dallas is November the 12th. The Cowboys 24, Arizona 10. Halftime at Texas Stadium.
About that, but we're going to talk about that first half. Arizona and Dallas. Jimmy, you said before that Dallas's offense is very unforgiving.
Well, you know, JB, they can do it all. They can run the football with Emmitt Smith. They can throw, you know, the ball to Michael Irvin on the one-on-one coverage. And really, Arizona's a desperate football team right now. They're gambling. They're rolling the dice. They're trying to blitz to stop the run on Emmitt Smith. But what happens when you get all those guys ganged up there and Emmitt breaks the line of scrimmage? It's going to be a long run. On top of this, one-on-one coverage on Michael Irvin or Kevin Williams. It's going to get some big plays. You're going to see more of them the second half.
Eric Williams out right now with an injury, but the center of that line, Ray Donaldson replacing Stepnoski with Larry Allen and Nate Newton. They are flat out overpowering people. They lose quickness with Donaldson, but they get a lot of power, a lot of beef. 315 pounds across the board there on an average.
All right, I know Terry had mentioned before that Arizona's a desperate team when they have to go to gadget plays. All right, folks, we're going to take you back to the second half of that game between Arizona and Dallas in Irving, Texas. All of that after this.